Do not disturb.
Here we are.
There we are.
How much you press and notify anyway?
What's that?
When someone's on Do Not Disturb, you can click notify anyway. How much are you notifying?
Oh, I do that
anyway?
to my brother every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an emergency. It's an emergency. If I leave a voicemail, I leave it as urgent every
Notify
time.
anyway.
Yeah.
Notify as much as possible.
Yes. My thing's way more important than anybody else's thing.
You should be able to put... Oh, God, CJ.
I did it to a boss once on accident. I was like reading to see like that I didn't mess anything up on the typo.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how it happened, but of course I tapped it and obviously did not feel great about that right after.
Wow.
Which Dem Gov was it?
Yes, my boss, a Democratic governor. It was not a governor.
What was I going to say? It's interesting you said there are a few things like this in life, like phrases. You said on accident instead of by accident. I'm a by accident guy.
I'm also a bi.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this, but I like these kinds of thought experiments.
Yeah.
Of doing something one way, but then realizing someone does most entirely a different way.
There's
like
standing
a lot of times
online versus
online.
inline.
Yeah, I'm
Kelly
an
does
inline
that.
guy.
I think that's like a North Jersey, South Jersey thing.
Yeah.
Online, inline.
Mike, are you an inline guy?
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It was wild when I learned. I mean, this isn't totally the same thing. That they only call it mischief night, like where we live.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah,
that is interesting. Not
And
knowing.
people from like not from the area are like, oh my God, it's such a crazy event to be happening. And it's like, that's just, I don't remember it being like a big deal, but like I knew what it was.
Yeah.
As like a young kid, I remember being very scared of it.
Yeah.
mischief night.
Oh, there's so much mischief happening. What's gonna befall me?
Oh, so much mischief.
Oh, I don't know if I can hang with all this mischief.
Oh,
Pretty good
toilet
kid.
paper being thrown
yeah,
around.
toilet paper, eggs. So gross. Yeah. Let's go. On the show today, it's August. We declared it August last week. So our first first of 6 Ask Us Anything episodes in August. Also, VJ Edgecombe went on Podcast P. His knee's not stopping him from podcasting. And Daryl Morey found a way to say something to make the news again, which was got aggregated. Never want to get aggregated. Well, I guess if you're him, you don't want to get aggregated. I love getting aggregated. Aggregate this. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. Sign up for Draftkings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Get yours at barkerbeds.com/Ricky. Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Text Ricky to 484-471-4873. LL Pavorsky Jewelers, where Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners go and get engaged. And, of course, Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Mike, are you ready for our $100 shout-out?
Here we go.
Here we
It's
go.
a summer of us making $100 a pop. Here we go.
Yep.
Let it rip.
Let it rip. This came from Adam. Hi, Spike, Mike, CJ, and Daryl. I was hoping you could give a shout out to my good friends BJ and Rachel on the birth of their first child, July 27th. In an incredible commitment to the bit, they named their son August. BJ is a longtime Sixers fan and Ricky listener who has passed on the mental illness that is Sixers fandom over to Rachel over the years. Congratulations, BJ and Rachel.
Congratulations.
And think of what this $100 would have done in a interest-bearing savings account for August that is going to wind up lining our pockets.
August probably could use some diapers. Instead, he is giving $100 to us.
Shout out. I don't know. This is the 3rd annual this year, Mikey D Memorial Golf Tournament. If you remember, Mike DeTore, a treasured member of the Ricky community, passed away in 2022 to brain cancer. He was 30 years old. He left his wife, Rebecca, and his 2 kids. And Rebecca, in his honor, has started the Small Moments Foundation. And the Small Moments Foundation helps out families that are going through cancer. It is a great thing that she's done. And every year there's a golf tournament to benefit the foundation. And the Ricky is a sponsor of that golf tournament. And there's some foursomes and single spots available if you want to play. It is September 22nd at Five Ponds Golf Course in Warminster. As I said, it benefits the Small Moments Foundation. And there are foursomes and single slots. Just go to smallmomentsfoundation.org and go to the events tab. I do not play golf, so I will not be playing there, but I will show up in the morning and see everyone off to go have fun, and then I'll go to work. But again, that is smallmomentsfoundation.org. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka is the official canned cocktail of the trade deadline. So, Dave Dombrowski, you've done a little bit of work, but to make Surfside happy, you're going to have to do more work. And then at the end of the trade deadline, 6 o'clock on Thursday, you'll crack a Surfside, maybe an iced tea and vodka, lemonade and vodka, my wife's favorite, I've mentioned the strawberry lemonade and vodka, and you will celebrate not only the trades that you have made, but the 100 calories only that you're consuming 2 grams of sugar, and that you have not consumed any carbonation, because iced tea and lemonade should not have bubbles. If you can't find it near you, go to drinksurfside.com. But remember, you got to be 21 and enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Gaskin, along with a guy born with an asterisk. That is one Mike Levin.
Lot of action for pre-August happening right now.
Yes.
A lot of action.
Before we get to AMA, there's actually not really that much action, to be honest with you. But,
Well, the trade deadline for baseball, me
yes,
thinking
of
about the prospects, Daryl getting in the news.
Yes.
You know.
Are you now? I'm sure you don't really care that much about Abel, but I imagine Tait you're a little bummed about. But they have some other catchers like 17 and good too somewhere.
Not as good. I mean, you're talking about Araujo
Yes.
in the DSL. Yeah,
Yes.
he's a little too far away for me to think it's fully real. Once you come stateside, then I can start to get very excited about it. But I love Eduardo Tait, man. He's a catcher, 18 years old, already in high A, from Panama, obviously. A soft spot
he's
for
going to be a DH anyway.
I think so too. I think that's my like saving
Cope.
grace there.
Yeah.
Like if they a definite Cope, if he comes up and is a catcher and can stick behind the plate, this is gonna hurt. But he's a Panamanian catcher who can fucking mash, dude. I love Carlos Ruiz, one of my favorite all-time Phillies. I am a little upset, but the thing I really didn't want was trading legitimate prospects for rentals.
And you did
for half a season.
Two
And
more
that's not what they did.
controllable years after this year.
He's got 2.5 years left. Duran absolutely throws gas. Seems to walk out to the Undertaker,
Yes.
which is pretty dope.
Well, walks out to Undertaker, and then it's the beginning of the Undertaker thing, and then there's like a song afterwards. But
Good.
and he's perfect for the perfect Philly closer in that he throws really hard, but he also walks guys, so you'll be it'll be excruciating almost every time, which is good too in the history of Philadelphia closers. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna mess him. If they trade Arun Escobar, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my mind. That'll be broken. I don't want them to trade Aiden. I don't want them to trade Arun. Obviously, you can't trade Painter. That'd be insane.
Oh yeah.
A couple others like more mid-level guys. You could probably move Gene Cabrera, that kind of deal. But look, I know myself, and
Yeah.
I'm the guy who loves the prospects.
The prospects, right?
I love them.
Yeah. Yep.
I love them. All I want is to fall in love with a teenage boy who works his way up through the levels. That's it. And I see nothing wrong with those statements. And then you can fall in love with them, and then you can spend their 20s and 30s here, and they get their face on the wall of fame. That's what I want. I like building a connection with somebody like that.
You know what? I told Jack. This is my Jack Fritz over at WIP. Ringthebellbook.com, by the way. I was like, Aiden Miller's going to come up. He's going to hit 262 with 16 home runs. I was like, I've seen this guy 100 fucking times. I was like, when are we going to get a guy? This fucking guy in Oakland's hitting 4 home runs in one game.
Yeah, that guy's
The
good.
fucking Nationals had Bryce Harper, then they had Strasburg, then they had Soto. Like, why can't we draft some, like, a total motherfucker who comes up and hits 4 home runs in a game?
I mean, what happened was that happened with Dominic Brown, and then the worst thing in the world happened.
Well, yeah,
Dominic Brown is the Phillies' Markel Fultz, and it's just brutal. Just I've never recovered from it. But I do think Aiden's going to be very good. I think he's scuffling a little bit at Double A, but he's 21, and I think he's going to be a 5-tool player. I'm really excited about Aiden.
I didn't pull clips from this. I did listen to VJ Edgecombe on Podcast P.
Couldn't listen to it. Read it.
Okay.
Read it.
There's nothing like the only thing that was at least a little bit notable that I heard was that Paul George said, and I'm sure Daryl Morey was cringing somewhere that he said it, that after they worked out Edgecombe, that they told Paul George that they were going to take Edgecombe. Like, essentially that he said, we know this is our guy, blah, 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 which...
I don't believe him.
Oh, you don't believe him?
I don't believe him.
You think he's
no,
lying?
there's no way. There's no way they would have said that.
Well, really?
I gotta go tell Paul George who we're taking. Like, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
I think they probably said something like, "Yeah, we like this guy. He's really good. He could be somebody that we're interested in." I'm sure they're fucking doing the same shit.
I guess the other thing that I thought was interesting was
If I have a secret, Spike,
Yeah.
I'm not telling Paul George.
No. He's got a podcast. I wouldn't tell anybody who has a podcast
No.
if I have a secret.
No.
The other thing, I guess, that he said that was at least moderately interesting, or that VJ Edgecombe said, because that was something Paul George said, is Edgecombe was like, I hate college basketball. He's like, there's no space for me to do anything. He said, my college coach was super analytically focused and everything had to be at the rim or a 3. And he was like, but there was no space. So he's like, that's why I think my, part of why I struggled at the rim. And he said in international ball, and in the NBA, he's like, there's so much space, and he thinks it'll help his game thrive. And I thought that was interesting, at least. I don't know what it means, but I thought it was
super interesting. I mean, you don't often hear, like, I think he was well liked at Baylor, and for VJ to be like, I hate college basketball, I was like, kind of funny.
Yes.
Seems like a guy that
Me and him.
Guys go, well, he's wrong about that. I love college basketball. Maybe I would feel differently if I played it, but
Well, it can't
as
be
a
wrong
fan,
that he hates it.
I think he's wrong. He could say I hated playing college basketball, but he can't hate college basketball because it's actually beautiful and perfect, and he should watch the tournament.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's you there's all this talk about how, like, big time prospects these days are all too polished and too media trained, and it seems like BJ's just a kid. He's just like a 19-year-old kid that is saying what he thinks, and he's very himself and not so worried about what he's saying, but he's just happens to be a really good young dude. So it's weird to imagine, like, if I was VJ, I'd be like, you gonna be healthy this year, big man?
Yeah. What about that surgery you just had out of
Was
nowhere?
that something up with that?
You guys are not going to rush back. You're going to take. Everybody's taking it slow this year, thankfully. Paul George is taking it slow, thankfully.
Sure.
Embiid taking it slow. Great guys, no rush.
If like Eric Gordon or Andre Drummond or Kyle Lowry had a podcast,
Yes.
and like VJ went on it, what would that conversation be like? Well, you shouldn't play.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be playing this season. You still playing? You're not in the rotation, are you? Yeah. You are?
Whoa, Pop.
No.
Yeah, old head in the rotation. Old head number 1, old head number 2.
But I don't know. It's cool that VJ's excited to be here.
Yeah.
He wrote a Players Tribune article that seemed to be cool.
I didn't read it. How is the Players Tribune still a thing? It's fucking terrible. All the articles are terrible. How does it still exist? It is terrible. I know you don't want to admit it's terrible for some reason.
I don't know. I don't really read it. I don't have an opinion either way. But it's very funny to be like, Players Tribune, finally a place where players can write their feelings. And it's like, well, most of them probably aren't writers.
Yeah.
Probably not good at that.
Right. Yeah. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by our friends at Draftkings Sportsbook. And boy, betting baseball right around the trade deadline. First of all, today for the Phils, if you're going to bet the Phils on the day before the trade deadline, this was a guaranteed loss.
Automatic loss.
Just against the White Sox, you're telling me fucking one of the worst teams in baseball. This was, I would have, if we had done this pod yesterday, I would have told, and also with a 4-hour rain delay. Oh my God. But betting on baseball is kind of fun. Because you can, as you may have heard in the news, you can bet on every pitch. World Series odds. Do you know this, Mike? That the Phillies are tied for second to win the World Series right now at
That's
DraftKings.
interesting. I didn't know that.
The Dodgers, now there is a cluster. The Dodgers are plus 290. The Phillies are plus 800. The Tigers are plus 800. The Mets, who have been busy at the deadline, are plus 850. And then the Yankees, who have no chance. Blue Jays, Astros. I might want to plus 1,300 on the Brewers.
I feel like you noted that before.
Yeah, it feels like there's a little value there. Bet home runs, DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet every at-bat on DraftKings Sportsbook. If it's your first time, new customers, you bet $5. You get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That is code RTRS for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. And then the other little busybody thing that we had this week was The Athletic wrote a retrospective on the bubble, and a part of a Daryl quote seems to be getting traction. The thing that I think is the funniest thing about the quote, and we'll read the whole quote for context, though I don't think it changes the context. The funny thing about this is I feel like this is obviously a take that I've had for a while. I think if Daryl was on the podcast and I said this take, he would disagree with me. Like, I can't even imagine him agreeing with me on this.
Well, so he's saying...
Should I read it first?
Read the quote. Let's do it.
Okay. So this is about the bubble title. Had the Rockets, and the whole thing, it's like a oral history sort of. It's all just like quotes, really. Had the Rockets won the title, I absolutely would have celebrated it as legitimate, knowing the immense effort and resilience required. Yet, everyone I speak to around the league privately agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship. Perhaps the lasting legacy of the NBA bubble is that the NBA should be proud of its leadership at both the beginning and the end of the pandemic, even though the champion will forever be marked by an asterisk. So, now, the normal Sixers thing is to say, well, I would take that. Yes, of course. Oh, we would take anything.
Yeah.
100%. Like, no one's arguing that part of it.
Who wrote the article?
I don't know. I was reading through it earlier. Hold on. Let me re-log into The Athletic.
All I'm saying is...
Yep.
Daryl, you didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. Joe Varden.
Did Joe Varden have a gun pointed at you, Daryl? You just don't have to say anything. He loves
giving quotes.
Yeah, there's always a target on Daryl's back for being this kind of guy. And there's always a target on the Sixers' back for being the fucking Sixers.
The losers.
People are just like dying to talk shit about either of those entities, especially now that they are one combined entity. And he just doesn't have to do it. He can just be a GM who does GM stuff. But he has all these little interests, which make him probably more interesting as a person,
yes.
But probably annoying as a president of basketball operations. He doesn't have to have a little play. He doesn't have to do the play during the trade deadline or during the draft. I mean, he doesn't have to like go talk about AI on stage at Sloan. Like, he just doesn't have to, and he does. And so then, if he's like, "Wow, people always misconstrue my words," then don't fucking say anything. Don't fucking say anything then. Yeah. What's the point of this? And it wasn't like they interviewed all 30 GMs. Did all 30 GMs give a press conference? Did it give a quote in here?
So. I don't think so.
Then
you know what? I also don't think... I think the quote, like, the whole thing isn't coming out, but I don't think anybody's taking him out of context here. I think the context is completely legitimate. And by the way, I agree with him. I agree with you, though I like that he talks maybe this offseason, when things aren't going so well after last year,
you could just not answer the phone.
Yeah. But
you
still
just
come
don't
on
do
the
it.
pod.
And
Still
if
come
he's
on the
like-
pod before the season.
And if he's like, cool, then I don't care if people say this stuff. Then fine. Then don't care. Then don't care that you get aggregated, and don't care that you react this way.
Yes.
But he sort of acts put upon, like in a woe is me type of way. There's nothing. Oh, everyone's gonna twist my words no matter what. Oh, I don't understand Philly fans. They just seem to be governed by anger. Right. It's like, yeah, dude, we're fucking pissed off. It sucks. They've never beaten a good team in the playoffs. You want us to be thrilled? You gave big ass contracts to two guys who barely played last season. We're pumping our fists. We're thrilled. You keep Yabusele at the deadline only to let him go to the Knicks. What should we be feeling? You tell us. You write us. Daryl, you write the book on how to feel as a fan. You get into
You're doing a spike rant here.
Why not? I don't know. It's what are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't like
This
Nick
is the
does
pod
it.
I did with AU in like April, whenever that quote came out. But
Which quote?
I agree with you. The governed by anger thing.
Oh,
I was like, yes, of course. We're fucking.
I just like.
pissed off. Yeah.
It has been a miserable experience to be a Sixers fan since 2001, let's say. For like 8 of those years, it felt like living in just living in the dark. Like nothing mattered.
Yeah.
Nobody noticed us. We couldn't see us, whatever. And then the big flashlights were on us for the process. The league intervenes. We fucking ruined it. It's our fault, me and you. And then since Embiid got healthy in his second season, let's say, it's just been devastating break after devastating break over and over again, to the public shaming of the league and other fan bases. And he wants to act like he doesn't understand. And what's confusing about that? What's confusing? And he's still talking. He's still answering the phone for Joe Varden, saying like, that other championship probably doesn't count. Nobody thinks it counts. Okay, man.
When you say it that way, I agree with you.
All right.
Though I do agree with him, he didn't need to answer the phone. I don't want to do this segment of the podcast. I would rather be doing AMA stuff. Unfortunately, we have to talk about this.
I know it's a standard normie Sixers take, but like, I would love to. I would love that it doesn't count for us. Yeah. We won the 2020 bubble. Instead, Embiid threatened to slap the shit out of Shake, and we got swept out of the first round.
Yeah, by the Celtics.
Again.
Yeah.
Once again. Anyway.
Good to get to.
I don't want to come off too angry. God forbid. Come on.
Oh man.
Like Nick Nurse acted put upon all last year, which understandably it wasn't all his fault. He didn't do a good job, but it wasn't all his fault, and he was pissed off having to be. He'll tell anybody nearby, probably security guards are hearing him having to do the like. Why am I doing the
injuries?
Why am I doing the injury talk? I don't know. I'm just telling what they told me, and they're mad at me. I understand. That's the job. That's part of the job. That's part of the job. That's just part of the job of being an NBA coach. So you might not like it, whatever. But like, okay, you're pissed. That's understandable. But Daryl acting like confused by stuff is the weirder thing for me.
Yeah,
you got to know. You got to know that people are upset and they give a shit. And if you don't know and you can't comprehend it, then just don't say anything. Then just don't. Don't say anything.
You should know that you don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, right? Understand that I don't agree with them. I don't get it, but I'm not going to. You know who actually was similar to that? Now, I find Daryl to be much more engaging, normal, and personable than this person. But and I know this from the private dealings, is Gabe Kapler was insistent on convincing everyone in Philadelphia that like the moves that he was making, even if they didn't make sense to us, were the right ones. And he was frustrated all the time that he couldn't just convince everyone. So instead of just accepting what Philadelphia was going to be like, and like fans are going to be happy when you win, it's the right move when you win, it's the wrong move when you don't win, he was insistent on making everyone see it his way. I think Daryl's got a little bit of that to him, where it doesn't actually matter, truthfully. Like I can say this as somebody who has argued on his behalf for the Paul George thing, right?
Likewise.
It just doesn't matter if the guy doesn't play and you suck. It doesn't matter if there are no other moves. No one's ever going to come to Jesus on that. And in the end, they're right because the team sucked and Paul George didn't play. So did you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to sort of swallow that part of it, of being a manager or general manager in Philadelphia.
You can either be a part of running a professional sports team, or you can have a podcast.
Right.
And if you want to switch,
Yep.
we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win trying to do both. End of thought.
Yeah. AMA. So we put out the call for Ask Me Anything questions. They're largely from the Ricky Reddit and from Rights To Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Whatever we don't get to on the Reddit, either will come up in another episode or I'll just go answer it on the Reddit, unless it's a mic question. But we will hold them. Thank you for all the responses. There's no way we're going to be able to get to all of them, but we'll hustle and do our very, very best. This is from, I'm not going to read his name because I feel like it might offend somebody. Does Spike get off withholding information that he, quote, knows but won't tell us? No, Mike makes an issue of that. I do.
That's just the one. Yeah, I guess I do. I probably do it more often. Yeah.
Mike makes an issue of it. I would just kind of like it to sort of, go. There's a couple, like the sex thing is being made a thing, I guess. And the Eric
being a
Gordon
voice of
thing.
the people.
Yeah. You are the voice of the people.
My reaction to that, a lot of people know stuff, right?
Yep.
People talk in NBA circles, agents, team personnel, whatever, front offices, whatever. And I think a lot of people like want to know stuff, like give me the dirt. I don't like knowing stuff.
Yes. It
makes it hard. It makes
it
hard, and it makes it like annoying, and I'm not like, it doesn't do much for me because it's ultimately that's one perspective. Like, it's not like,
well, it's pressure.
Hearing some truth. I like seeing like screenshots of like various, the way that some people like DM and stuff, and you're like, I don't want to see this. I don't know. Just let me watch the games. Just let me watch, like, do the trades, watch the games. That's all I need to see. But some people really like to know the stuff, and that's ultimately why I don't like love sports reporting that is just like, hey, I was told this thing and now I'm tweeting it out. Like, I don't think that that's like thrilling stuff.
Well, I think when you get to our position, in that people know that people listen to you and care what you have to say, is that I don't ever seek it out, ever. Like, people reach out to you when you're sort of in this position. And a lot of times it's trying to get you to sway. But the other time is that some people just can't handle knowing something and nobody else knowing.
Yeah.
So they tell you. So most times when I am told something, I just use it sort of as background information, understanding where the source came from and using it to help shape what I know or what I think, as opposed to saying, I know this. But Eric Gordon was the leak. The Rights To Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Rebel sleeps on a Barker. Scotchy sleeps on a Barker. Little quick story. Scotchy always goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and she climbs into our bed after she goes out back. Last night, it was about 4 a.m., she decided she was going to lay on her back and like scooch like this for 30 seconds. My wife was laughing. I got mad, and I said, I'm going fucking downstairs. And I went and I slept on the couch because I couldn't go back to sleep. In any case, the good thing about Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds, there's several good things, but the best thing is your dog is going to be healthier sleeping on a Barker. Go to barkerbeds.com/Ricky. Barkerbeds.com/Ricky. Learn more. See all the options. But you're also going to get the Process Pup patches. You're also going to get the stickers. But you are going to be ordering a bed for your dog that has been proven by a study at Penn Vet and engineered to keep your dog healthier. It does that by supporting your dog's joints. It is no different than a human. If you sleep on a good supportive mattress, your joints are going to feel better. And as you get older, all of that builds up, right? So it's the same thing with a dog. And too many dogs, maybe even your dog, if they're not sleeping on a Barker, is sleeping on a bad mattress that doesn't support your dog's joints. Dogs develop arthritis just like we do. Dogs feel creaky the older they get when they wake up in the morning, just like we do. You have to do all you can to make sure your dog is happy and healthy, and a Barker Therapeutic dog bed will do that. The Barker Jr. is a tiny one. XL can fit a dog like 200 pounds, fit a human on it. Different colors, different configurations. There's the calming Barker, the cooling Barker now. I had the travel one that you can fold up. There's a 10-year warranty. The foam doesn't flatten or they replace it for free. It is handmade in the USA. Barker Therapeutic dog beds. All right. This came from Barry, Rights To Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Dear Spike, Mike, and CJ, I listened to the Sixers Adam episode where he asked if you know any Sixers secrets. Got me to thinking. Who knows more secrets, Spike or Mike? Spike,
you by far.
Well, but let him finish. Spike, due to working at multiple big radio stations and growing up in Philly sports, or Mike working in and being part of the Hollywood scene. So what about like Hollywood secrets?
Well, I guess, I mean, I still think probably you. I don't know what,
Yeah,
like, what
I'm
is
older.
what
Yeah.
is a, it's hard to know what a secret is.
Yeah.
What qualifies as a secret?
Pam from The Office has lots of sex, like James Harden.
All right, if I knew that, then that would count as a secret.
That'd be a secret.
I guess I don't have one thing like that.
Okay.
But you work with a ton of people over the whatever. How old am I? What year is it?
34?
13 years that I've been in this business.
Yeah.
So you meet people and you're like that guy sucks or that girl's nice or whatever.
I'm sure you have a lot of secrets like that. Even if that's not a secret, though, or would that be a secret? So and so is a dick. I don't know, but you have different secrets. But maybe I know more. This came from Avoid Dividends on Reddit. A jigsaw for you. Would you rather have every toothbrush you use have just been used by a stranger, or every piece of silverware you eat with have just been used by a stranger? Even if you try to wash the toothpaste off from the toothbrush, the bristles are wet and there's just enough residue of foamy toothpaste that you can see as you apply your own toothpaste onto the toothbrush. And for the silverware, there's always a little bit of food left over.
I think I'd rather the silverware.
Silverware, yeah.
Because the toothbrush goes really all the way in your mouth. And nobody's like fully putting silverware like all the way in there.
Yes.
Like a lot of bites, you're barely touching metal, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's clearly there's something pretty gross about the toothbrush thing. And not that you're eating it from somebody who just used it, but every time you go to a restaurant, somebody has at least used that silverware. At no point during your weeks and months are you using a toothbrush that somebody else ever used. Only you, most of the time. Rights to Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. This comes from Josh in Denver. Hi, Spike, Mike, and CJ. I'm curious about the origin story of Abby, your graphic designer. I love the minimalist style.
Origin story of a person.
Yeah, I love the minimalist style, and I'm always impressed with the quick turnaround. It makes the podcast stand out from most others who just have bros in front of mics, which I greatly appreciate. I feel like I remember that she is not regarded as a Sixers or even basketball fan, so what kind of prompt does Spike or CJ give her for those ab-fab digital thumbnail sketches? Also, it feels like Spike is occasionally perhaps combative toward her. Can you confirm this dynamic? Would love to see an interview with her and hear her take on the pod. On the Sixers at some point during the Forever August pods. So Abby, I believe, was introduced to the pod by her partner, Leo, who's great. They're both great. And Abby showed up at a lottery party once with a drawing of me and of Mike and gave them to me, which I thought was really cool. And when we started the website and we had money and could pay a graphic designer, I asked Abby, and Abby has been doing it ever since. Abby does not like basketball or the Sixers. I think she just likes us.
Smart.
Yeah, she does have her own Substack, Abby Stack, which is music based. She recently got back into music a couple of years ago. Sells her own stickers, that sort of stuff. The combative thing is just a joke. I love Abby to death, and I think she likes me too. So I send her the prompts usually. Now she is aware of who is on the Sixers, so I will send her the prompt, and sometimes I will tell her dealer's choice when I don't have any idea, and that's what she comes up with. But I think the fact that we have an artist like that is pretty special. This comes from the Real All Pro on Reddit. What's one answer from Morey that you wish you could get that you know he won't or cannot answer? It seems like he answers everything, to be quite honest.
Answer less.
Yeah. What is one you could ask Morey?
I would love to see a legitimate draft big board from a team.
Ooh.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah.
That I think, yeah. I mean, that would be, I don't know if it's ever happened before. Probably hasn't. It probably has in some way, but maybe not the thing. If there was a way for me to be like, hey, it's trade deadline day, and I get to just sit in on all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And sort of feel what I can hear the conversations on the phone. I'm very interested to know what are the assistant GM conversations from assistant GM to assistant GM on different teams.
Yeah.
And then when that gets rise to the level of telling Elton or Daryl, hey, this is what they're offering. And then seeing that conversation go. I mean, I guess it'd be like a more basketball version of Hard Knocks, in-season Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or any Hard Knocks, I guess. But yeah, I'd be interested to feel how that would go. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff on Hard Knocks that they were like, hey, that's too proprietary. You can't show that. But I would like to see some of that.
I have 3. 1, I want to know the biggest trade that was close to happening that didn't happen. 2, I want to know what Doc Rivers said when you fired him. 3, I just want now maybe he is being honest. I just want his real thoughts on Ben Simmons. Like what he was really thinking at the time. Yeah. Because he was always very pro, certainly would tell me that I was too negative about him and that sort of thing. But I want to know what he really thought.
I was hanging out with John Gonzalez the other day, and I was I was like, we were talking about Ben and if Ben's going to sign somewhere. John's wondering if he's not going to sign with the team this season. Mm-hmm. And then we started talking about him and doing the thing that we do. And I was like, when was the last time you watched Ben Simmons Summer League highlights? And John was like, never. But it really is you should everyone should watch him and be like, this is a different person. Yeah. Even before the, things went so bad in 2020, after 2021, it's so different. He became, he just degraded as a fully fleshed out basketball player. He retreated into himself. It's so strange.
I will continue to say that it was different, but it was predictable. So
sure, yeah.
But
I mean, this was great. It was nothing like this has ever happened before.
Well, it happened to us. So
happened to us.
First place.
Happened to us. He was. I mean, when he was good, he was pretty special, and it wasn't unreasonable to think he could get a little bit better.
No,
and he just
that's why
the complete opposite.
I mean, by the way, that's why during the Jimmy Butler thing, it is completely revisionist to say they should have kept Jimmy rather than Ben.
It's
that
very
was the
revisionist.
Choice. It's
but I would like hard. But I would like to revise.
Yes. Well,
if I can revise, I would like to do it.
By the way, the only person I think who may have gotten it right was Elton Brand, who I believe wanted to trade Ben Simmons. Elton Brand has never told me that. That is the conventional wisdom. That story has been passed around a little bit. Rights to Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. This is from Matt. Hi, Spike, Mike, and CJ. This is for a Mike secret. Is Mike still working on the movie with Emma Stone? I remember reading about Mike's screenplay getting picked up and she was connected with the movie. Just curious if that's still going on. If so, would be really interesting to hear what the process has been like since it was announced last year.
The way we this was our first like real foray into movies, my writing partner Patrick and I. And so the way it works, at least on this level, it's different at different levels. But the way we're sort of swimming in the big leagues here with Emma Stone and Universal. Mm-hmm. We wrote the script ourselves, without anybody attached over the years while we were like writing on other shows and stuff. And we finished it. During the writer's strike, you couldn't write like four producers or 4 studios, but you can always
just
obviously write for yourself.
Yeah.
And so I would pick it every day and then come home and finish writing the new draft of this movie. And by the end of the strike, we were like, okay, we have a pretty good draft that we're ready to go out with. And then the strike ended and we attached some producers, and then sent the script out to all the studios over a weekend, and then Universal came out with the biggest bid, and they bought it. And then a little while later, Emma and her husband attached themselves to star and produce, and her husband being Dave McCary to direct it. And so that was great. And so we're still waiting to hear about like when it's going to be ready to go and stuff, but it's
going to
sort of
happen.
like in the system.
Seems like.
And hopefully it happens. Yeah.
Right. Okay. By the way, Emma Stone was great in Eddington. It was, I don't know if you saw Eddington, but
I would like to see it. No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm a big Ari Aster, big A24 guy, which is incredibly predictable, but she was way different in this movie than I feel like she's ever been in any movie I've ever seen her in. She's always so like lively, I guess, and she is not in this, but she plays it perfectly. It is. I enjoyed the movie. Well, enjoyed's a weird word. It is a sort of stressful watch, an anxiety-ridden watch. It's not a light night at the movies or anything.
No.
But I thought she was very good.
No, she's a very talented, very versatile actress.
Yeah, she was great. This is on Reddit, TNT54321. If I remember correctly, there was an episode during the season where somebody asked if you guys could give us a detailed breakdown of what you guys do for work, something along those lines. Then both you and Mike promised you would do it come August when there's not a lot of content to talk about. Well, the time has come.
There it is.
We will do that pod. And there was a little taste.
Taste.
We've already discussed doing that pod, and we will do that pod. We promised we would do the pod, so we will do the pod. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by the newest partner of the Ricky. Not a new partner to me. Been with Anthony for a few years now. Not been with in a relationship, but he is my financial advisor.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yes. No.
That was definitely my first reaction. I hear been with, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's romantically involved.
Yeah. Anthony Degli Obizzi. Anthony is the official financial planner for the Ricky. If you are never too young to start doing this, to start planning for your future. I didn't do it until my late 30s because it stressed me out. It was 2 things. The idea of it stressed me out, seemed too hard. And then I never thought I had enough money because I wasn't making a lot of money. But as it turns out, the stress is for Anthony, not for you. He figures it out. And the other thing is that you do not have to make yourself poor just to save for the future. He wants you to be able to enjoy your life now. That's what the point is. But also be set and be secure that when the time comes to, whether you have an emergency or when the time comes to retire, you will be set up. Anthony, I had a guy before Anthony. It was fine, but Anthony is completely 10 times better than that guy was. No offense to that guy. I check in with Anthony once a quarter. You can be as involved or uninvolved as you want to be. You can be as aggressive or conservative as you want to be. He is your key to any sort of financial service too. So whether it is retirement planning, whether it's insurance, whether it is like any of those things, Anthony is your guy. He's a Delco guy. He's from Delaware, but he works in Delco now. He's got an interesting accent. That's worth reaching out for him too. It's almost a little Baltimore-y. In any case, text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. That is Ricky to 484-471-4873. Then you can set up a conversation and he can get you looking ahead to the future. Anthony works at Monastro Financial Group, as I mentioned, which is in Delco. But I don't know. Like I regret not doing this earlier in my life. I regret not starting in my 20s, but I am super happy I found Anthony, and I have peace of mind now that when it's time to hang it up, I'm going to have enough money to do that. So again, a no commitment conversation. Just text Ricky to 484-471-4873. That is Anthony, the official financial planner of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Okay. To Rights to Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. This is from Aaron in Los Angeles. Hello to Spike, Mike, CJ, and the entire Ricky team. From time to time, I will listen to other podcasts that cover the Sixers, though the Ricky is the only podcast about the Sixers. I've noticed something interesting with some of their sponsors. Another podcast, which will remain nameless, has a prominent sponsor that is a rival shop to LL Pavorsky at Jewelers Row, which will also remain nameless. I found this interesting as a basketball podcast audience. Doesn't seem like it would be the typical demographic for a jewelry store, but the Ricky and LL have an unbreakable bond that transcends. This ad had to be because of the Ricky and LL, right? Do you think there's some kind of research out there with ad companies showing the target market for Philadelphia area jewelry stores is somehow inexplicably rabid fans of the Sixers? It kind of reeks of AI. Seeing data but not really understanding the context of it. Or maybe it's just how Burger King builds Burger Kings in your McDonald's. But if you do have the power to shift perception and alter information, what other demographic data points do you think / hope the Ricky can alter through the support of your diehard supportive fan base? Yes, I would imagine that they are listening to us and hunting sponsors that are either on our podcast or like the sponsors on our podcast. And the reason that it works for LL is, one, he is genuine and good at his job, and we're genuine when we're talking about him. But the other thing is, from a demo perspective, like our listeners are, Mike doesn't believe it, are largely young men.
No. Variety. It's a lot of old ladies, I think. They just don't reveal themselves because they keep to themselves.
But that's part of it too. But I don't know. I bet it doesn't work as well as LL works with us. That's what I would say. Because that jeweler is not LL and that podcast is not us. No offense. This is from Reddit, from Indica Sour 215. Mike, what's your go-to move if you're playing in your rec league, late shot clock, and you need to get a bucket?
What rec leagues have shot clocks?
That is a really good point.
There's some like end of game. We have some like end of games. They'll start to like count you down.
Do you have a move? Do you have I need to hit a shot here? Like, you know, do you have a go-to move?
Yeah, I'll probably cross right to left in a little like 12-footer fade type thing, like a leaner. Just create a little space. It's probably what I would do.
A little Ace Bailey like.
Maybe a little bit Ace Bailey. Maybe I don't like Ace Bailey because I don't like myself. Possibly. My co-ed team 2-1.
What's that?
My co-ed team is 2-1. Jake Pavorsky is on the team.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I coach.
No, you're playing in this one, right?
Playing in this one.
Okay, sorry.
I play like this. I don't play like that. When I play, I'm pretty intense.
Mike playing basketball.
I'm in my prime. Honestly,
sign me. 2-1. Jake, Alyssa's on the team, my wife, my friend Mo Welch, who plays stand-up, who also is on the paper with me as a writer. And yeah, we're 2-1. We won Monday night. It's a lot more. So we won the championship last year just as like a free agent team, and now we have our own. We created our own team this year, and the league is way better, way more physical. Alyssa set a screen, and a guy just fucking plowed through her.
Wow.
She went like.
You set a screen. You gonna play basketball.
They called him for an offensive foul. It was like a pretty egregious move. But she like got. I was on the bench at the time, and she got like blasted through like she was in Dragon Ball Z. Like she just took it. It was unbelievable. I laughed at first, and I was like, "Oh, she might be hurt." No, she's okay. Okay, good. But yeah, she hit a big three in this game to kind of the dagger three, put us up from 5 to 8. It's fun. It's good squad. Excited to only 4 teams make the playoffs in a 10-team league, so trying to get there. We're a couple games into the season.
This came from Brian, Rights To Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Spike, Mike, and CJ, which time orientation do you believe is the sweet spot for this podcast? Looking toward the future, nostalgic for the past, or giving takes on the present? The pod covers all three perspectives at different times, but in the past few months, from the draft party to assessing prospects to the Joel article, I've taken the audience through all the periods in a rapid manner. I've listened to the pod since 2016, and I've always considered it a future-oriented based on a hopeful view of the process. Nostalgia creeps in when you remember some process era guys or recite the list of Sixers front office malfeasance, and the daily listening attraction is based on your analysis of the present state of the Sixers. However, given how this team has changed over the years and where it is now, I wonder how you view the work of the pod. Is it speaking to the past, present, or future of the team? Regardless of the period, love the pod.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
When I talk about the past, I'm starting to feel like I'm a grandpa talking about what it was like in the war.
Yeah.
Where a little bit.
It was so long ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I do think a little bit like if my grandchildren were around, they're going to be like, Jesus Christ, just let him go. He can't see that we have our AirPods in. He's not going to know. So I'm sure I'm getting worse at talking about that. And I'm sure if you're a listener, you're like, yeah, we don't have to do this again. But I can't help myself. I think talking about the present, I think present and future is probably similar. I mean, I'm naive enough still on some level to do the like if everybody's healthy thing. Which makes, I think, maybe the podcast more or less listenable depending on what side you're on.
Well, I think, by the way, I have a new lease on life with the Sixers because I have let go of what you're talking about. And now I am just excited about the young guys. And if they end up being good, great, whatever. I think I agree with you. I mean, there's no podcast if we can't talk about the present and the future, you know? And I think we are excellent. And I think AU is probably the best out of all of us at sort of providing context on the past, the good times, the bad times, remember this, remember that. But I think I would hope that that's just like a flavor, you know, like that's an old song you haven't heard in a while in between the new songs would be the way I would describe it. This is from Reddit KG user. Who is the most famous person in each of your contexts that you actually talk to on a semi-regular basis? Spike, what is your favorite tattoo? For both, rank your allegiance to all Philly sports teams in order. Curious if you're the same. So the first person, the most famous person in each of your contexts that you actually talk to on a semi-regular basis.
I don't really talk to famous people.
Really?
No. What do I want to do with them? Who's famous?
Well, Amos is like I talk to Amos all the time.
Sure.
He's, you know, like I would say the musicians that you hear on the pod are all like are all that, you know. Like I hear from Matt Quinn occasionally from Mount Joy or
Sure.
the War on Drugs folks, like or Amos. I talk to Amos the most out of all those, but they're pretty famous.
Various sports reporters and television personalities.
Yeah.
Couple actors. Nobody
There you go.
crazy. No, I'm not texting like Brad Pitt or somebody.
I used to communicate regularly in my music radio days with Jared Leto.
Interesting.
He was so when 30 Seconds to Mars was having most of their radio success, he was very smart about using they didn't use his celebrity in promotional materials, but he would reach out to program directors on his own and create relationships with them. So, which was smart because he's fucking famous and you're like, if you get an email from the record rep, you're like, yeah, whatever. You get an email from Jared Leto, you're like, wow.
Sure, yeah.
It's fucking Jared Leto.
I met one of the Property Brothers at a dinner and played basketball with him a couple times.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's pretty famous.
I mean, some various, some media folks. I don't know. Nothing that interesting.
Spike, what is your favorite
Just
tattoo?
scrolling through my texts. LL Pavorsky. Bang. There it is.
There it is. I don't know if I have a favorite tattoo. Whatever the most recent one is. I got one of my newest dog, or our second dog, Scotchy, on my side, and I enjoy it. But it was
Spike showing side.
Yeah, but it was as the guy who was doing the tattoo said, I said, hey, how bad is the rib cage? And he said, "Oh, buddy, today's going to be the worst day of your life." It was horrible. Rank your allegiance to all Philly sports teams in order. I think ours is probably similar.
Sixers is 1.
Sixers is 1, Phillies is 2, Eagles is 3 for me.
That's probably right. And I think partially because the Eagles have won 2 championships, and I can kind of like put that part of me to bed a little bit.
You're less rabid after they've won because you've
which I feel great about.
that.
I feel like healthy. The part of me that loves the Eagles is like a healthy, like it's eating well, it's getting good nights of sleep. The other parts are not.
The other thing that helped me refine my baseball fandom was actually living in New York and working at FAN, because New Yorkers that's their number one sport is baseball. And they are much bigger baseball fans than Philly is. Philly loves the Phillies, but New Yorkers, they talk about baseball 12 months a year. And so having to be dialed into it, I was like, baseball's fucking cool. I forgot how cool baseball was. So it renewed it for me before I got back to Philly.
I would say I'm a bigger Phillies fan than I am an Eagles fan, but I'm a bigger NFL fan than I am a MLB fan.
Oh, see, I've become a bigger MLB fan than I am an NFL fan. Yeah. Like I can watch any baseball game, and I don't know if I'm there with football anymore. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by a guy that was just mentioned, LL Pavorsky Jewelers.
Yeah.
First sponsor of the Ricky. Mike, I saw LL earlier this week. I brought him some stickers and some T-shirts. Can I say this guy's aging in reverse?
Yeah.
Dude, he looks so good.
Yeah.
The other thing is he's gone, like the gray is there. He's not fighting the gray anymore. He's got the gray, but it looks, because he's tan, it looks pretty good. Dude, I see him. He's got the beard's looking good. The hair's looking good. He's wearing like these skinny sort of like khaki jeans and like a khaki denim jacket and like a cool shirt underneath.
Amazing.
Dude, I want to ask him to marry me.
I want to know what LL as a basketball player was like.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jake's a good player. Jake's a really, really, really solid connector, effort, bouncier than you expect, makes passes, cuts, gets offensive rebounds. Good
He's
player.
got a big ego. I don't know if you have to.
Jake does or LL?
Like that. Yeah, Jake does a little bit.
Hey, he's my teammate. I appreciate him. Happy to have him there.
LL does not have an ego. Pride is not part of LL. LL wants to be there to serve you. If you need an engagement ring, there's no other person you can go to other than LL, the first sponsor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast, responsible for 440 plus engagements, purchase rings from LL Pavorsky Jewelers. And like with most of our sponsors, once you get your ring from LL, you got a guy moving forward, and then you can recommend him to other people. It is the opposite of what you would imagine the jewelry experience to be, if you would imagine it. There's no pressure. You go to other jewelry stores, they're right in on you. That's not the way LL works. He only does by appointment so he can pressure you when no one else is around. I'm just kidding you. He only does by appointment because he wants you to be able to take as much time as you want, wants you to be able to think about it, wants to find out everything that you're interested in before you show up or before you do it on Zoom, however you want to do it. He's just the greatest. And if you buy a ring from anyone else, you are a fool. 707 Walnut is where the store is. You want to make an appointment, give him a call, 215-627-2252, lee@llpavorsky.com, or tweet him at llpavorsky, supporting our charities, Mama T's Community Fridge and Providence Animal Center, LL Pavorsky Jewelers.
Now offering 10-carat asterisks.
There you go. From Chris, hi guys. What are the chances Judah Mintz gets Hunter Salas's two-way spot and or Mark Armstrong lands on our G League team? I know, 2 more small guards, but I think these guys flashed enough in Summer League, Mintz for 2 years now, to deserve a longer look based on their ball handling and athleticism. Armstrong's shooting popped late in Summer League, and the guy can really throw it down. Mintz showed the ability to attack the basket and held his own as an all-around point guard, at least offensively.
I mean, I agree. Hunter Salas was banged up at the beginning of Summer League, came back, didn't look too good. Mintz played better than him for sure. Salas is bigger and projects more as like a capable off-ball player, but he wasn't great. So I wouldn't be super surprised if they went a different direction. But and it might be nice to have a third guard on this team that's not Maxier McCain, or Kyle Lowry, who we do love, but is too old to be playing rotation minutes. I wonder if maybe it's a sort of understood deal that when they bump up Jabari Walker, they fill that two-way spot with somebody like Judah Mintz or Mark Armstrong. I thought both guys played well. You called out Mark Armstrong early, and I was like,
going to say that.
He didn't
you
look. He didn't look good.
Yeah,
he didn't look good. And then all of a sudden, he just like kept rising up for dunks, hitting threes, and it was like, hang on, this guy's. I mean, he didn't play that well at Villanova. He showed me something for sure.
Well, you know what? I would hope after doing this podcast for 12 years, I occasionally notice one thing.
There you go.
So,
how about it?
I'll take it as a win.
I'm happy you did.
From Banjo's Bad Fur Day on Reddit. For both Spike and Mike, what do you believe is the best Rights to Ricky Sanchez episode you have ever recorded together? Criteria is totally up to you. My vote is for the first pod post Ben Dietrich article release on the Colangelo burner accounts. I wish I remembered them better to give a better answer on this, to be honest with you.
I don't know. They're also tied to what's happening with the Sixers. It's not like I don't think about when I think about that. I don't go like, oh, and my reaction was good. I'm sure longtime listeners of this podcast and maybe Jason Lipschitz or something would be able to recite this moment or this thing. But as far as like full episodes, you'd have to tie it to what was happening with the Sixers that we were reacting to in various degrees of unhinged. So like the Kawhi shot, the Okafor draft, Hinkie getting fired. I'm sure I didn't say anything interesting there, but I was just losing my mind. Pick swapping, probably game 4 of the Raptors series, or 3 of the Raptors series, maybe.
When Embiid hit the shot?
When Embiid hit the shot and did the airplane, that deal.
That Raptors series.
Or game 5 of the Sixers Celtics was maybe good. I don't know. I don't remember anything. All I remember is the bad times. And there were a lot of them.
I've said this a number of times. I will just give an era and one moment. Like, I enjoyed the COVID pods. Like, specifically because that's when a lot of people found the pod. And I'm proud that we kept doing it. And those pods are so long, but I know people needed it and I needed it as a human. So I had a good time doing those. Like, we had a couple with Amos and Mutlu that were like 2.5 hours long.
What could I have said?
And then my favorite moment was actually I believe it was the first time we were into after basketball shut down. We had Kevin O'Connor on the pod and I always troll him about Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady. And I got in a fight with him about that the Patriots should have traded Brady and gone with Jimmy Garoppolo instead. And it makes him insane every time. And he got so mad at me. And I thought it was funny. This is from David, writes to Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Who are some of your favorite truly random Sixers from the past 25 years? I'm not talking about your Roten, Spateses, or even Danielle Marshalls. I mean the deep cuts. The guys who somehow live rent-free in your brain, even though 95% of the diehards barely remember them. Mine, Amal McCaskill.
He's terrible.
Efthymios Rencius.
Rencius, sure.
And Shavlik Randolph.
Yeah, Shav was good.
Amal nearly hit a half-court shot at halftime in 2004, and my 12-year-old me lost it. I lived for Efthymios chucking threes in garbage time back in 2003. Honestly, felt like he'd fit right in today's team. Love the pod. You guys rock.
I was a big Dana Barros guy as a young kid. Maybe not as deep
not
of a
that
cut,
random though.
but it's been a long time, so I guess that's more of it. But
Sure.
I always wanted John Salmons to be better than he was, and I always sort of held out hope that he would become that. I feel like we should be talking about pre-podcast players because we've certainly done our. I liked Xavier Silas. I remember liking. I guess I was blogging about it at the time.
Yeah, I think that was pre-Ricky, but I think we both liked him. Didn't he coach somewhere? Or? Yeah.
I'm just looking scrolling.
Rodney
through the
Carney, I always liked.
That was.
My wife liked. Oh man, foreign guy, beard. Right before the Ricky.
Oh, I was a big Kareem Rush guy.
White guy. What the fuck was his name?
I'm too far back there. You got to find him yourself.
Okay.
When they traded, they drafted Daquan Cook and then traded him for Jason Smith, and I was upset about that on draft night. It was the Thaddeus Young draft. I really liked Daquan Cook at Ohio State, and I thought Jason Smith sucked. And
Matt Koshwal.
They both sucked.
I swore by Matt Koshwal.
Great.
But he is our era. Andres Nocioni. That's who Val loved.
Yeah, also blogged about him for sure.
Yep. Toastioni.
Toastioni, that's right. Early blog days. I liked Stephen Hunter.
Don't remember
back
him.
06, 07, yeah, 7-footer, bouncy 7-footer, didn't do much else, but I was excited about him. I'm still scrolling back through. Just naming guys.
Yeah,
just naming guys.
Now you're that online meme where like dudes will really just name Sixers players.
This was the question. I'm honoring the question.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I liked Kenny Thomas. Not someone that gets talked about a lot. Obviously, it wasn't random, but like not someone that gets brought up from time to time anymore. And I liked Kenny Thomas. Would not fit in today's NBA. Only took 19 footers, but I guess he's a little bit Brandon Clarkey. Sort of similar guy. Zendon Hamilton wasn't one of my guys. Who did I like?
Forgot he was a Sixer.
Who did I like? There's got to be other people I liked. I was a Todd McCullough guy. You had to be. You had to be a Todd McCullough guy. And obviously, me and every person under 12 liked Speedy Claxton.
Yes, of course.
And wanted him to be good.
We were going to have him on. Yeah, I could have him. We did stuff with, what's that school that Hofstra, right? He's a Hofstra coach? Yeah. This is from Jaw1224. Been meaning to ask for months. I don't know why you've been meaning to ask this. With the Kornblau and Barker rebrands in mind, if the Ricky had to be rebranded, what would it be called?
I mean, it's been named this for so long and for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine it. Like, there's nothing like a clever name wouldn't work.
And so many people told us to change the name early on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's nonsense, but it just any clever name of like the process revisited.
Yeah.
Pod the process. Trust the podcess.
Ping pong pals.
Anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Would just not be good. It had to be named something completely nonsense because the podcast happened by accident. We did not try to start a regular podcast that we've been doing for 12 years now.
Nope. We just did one, and because I was doing podcasts all the time, Mike was on the radio show a couple times, and
now we're stuck.
Here we are.
We're stuck like this. You know when your mom says like, "Hey, don't make that face; it's gonna get stuck like that." That's about a podcast, actually.
Let's do two more. This is from Mike. Hi, Spike and Mike. In your interview with Morey a few weeks ago, Daryl mentioned that he thinks Embiid would continue if he wasn't able to perform near his peak. No, he said he didn't think he would perform. Do you think there was some off-the-books agreement between the team and Embiid about who gets to decide if Embiid takes a medical retirement? This is a stupid question. No. I'm sorry. No, of course not.
No.
And by the way, like, no, of course not. The team, by the way, can apply for a medical retirement for Embiid without his permission. No. I'm sorry. No offense. I'm sorry. No, I don't think there's an off-the-book agreement there. That question doesn't count. This is from Indica. Did he already ask a question? Spike, I know you might not be able to talk about it, but I'd love to hear more about how you sniffed out Eric Gordon as the snitch so early.
Mr. Secrets.
I will say this. Here's what I will reveal about it. It is not one thing. I would say there were 3 or 4 smaller things that coalesced into, and then a process of elimination to where it must be him. I guess that's what I would say. And then final one. This is an interesting one from Ben M.T. B-Ball. What is the most likely reason, in your opinion, why Fultz forgot how to shoot? Also, would you rather spend the night in a porta potty or a busy bar bathroom? Oh, that's a horrible.
Spend the night. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's a
I
long
would go
time.
busy bar bathroom. Porta potty is just
Probably.
too disgusting, and there's nowhere to lay. You know, like,
Where are you laying in a busy bar bathroom?
that's a good point. I don't know. Porta
At least
potties.
it's a little more breathable.
But yeah, porta potties are just horrible. So, most likely reason why Fultz forgot how to shoot. What do you think?
I think the brain is very complicated and we don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I think once like there was some sort of blockage from him shooting the way he used to, it just kind of compounded itself and kept getting worse. And it never corrected. And maybe there was an injury, or maybe there was like the beginnings of an injury, or an injury happened after he started shooting a certain way. I don't know, but it is one of the stranger things to happen in professional sports history. And who could it happen to but us?
It's funny. You're like, this never happened before. How many fucking things?
Quite a few.
I would say my best guess, if I had to guess, Sixers Adam gun to the head style, it would be started shooting it a different way, and then the Rick Ankiel, Mackie Sasser, Yips thing took over, and he just never found it again. He seemed like a young man who was a little overwhelmed by everything that was happening. He also seemed like a young man who was maybe, everybody's at a different sort of maturity level at that age, but it seemed like he was maybe not ready for it. What was about to happen?
It happened very fast for Marco.
Yeah, it happened
And
very
you could
fast.
say the same thing about VJ. It's happening very fast for him, but
It's different.
it seems like a different kid.
Different kid. All right. If we didn't get to yours, maybe what we'll do is we'll take a portion of our pods through August and just make a little portion of it the AMA. So, because I want to respect everyone who sent in their question. Thank you for sending in your question.
August, us, anything.
Here it is. August, us, anything. We will talk to you next time. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah, lick face.